Give me that talkback mic. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Alright, do I have... Yeah. Welcome, Tooch. You're fucking early. I sort of want to announce this just so I can clarify the song I'm starting up with. And I don't want to just be like, you know, I don't want it to hit 6 p.m. and I'm just like going at a song that's not mine. Welcome, Graceland. Welcome, Cameron. Y'all early. But I'm just gonna get right into it. Elliot sent this one song called Middle Finger by Bones. And it was one of those things where it's like, wow, you don't even fucking know me. But they were like, this seems like a pretty Case song, and I'm like, you're right. So I'm gonna do it. Fuck yeah, good luck on that comic page. There we go. Alright. You show me love and then spit in my face, making your money up all of my pain. You put an eagle inside of a cage, and you think I'm not Meter. There we go. Right? Spit in my face, making your money off all of my pain. You put an eagle inside of a cage, and you think I'm not strong enough to escape. Right. But I refuse to let you make me feel like I can't fly. Not only will I soar again all on the fucking sky, yeah. So I put my middle finger up I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. Not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Right. Alright. One more take starting from the first verse, and then I'm just gonna go through the whole thing. You show me love and then spit in my face, making your money off all of my pain. You put an eagle inside of a cage, and you think I'm not strong enough to escape. But I refuse to let you make me feel like I can't fly. Not only will I soar again, I'll own the fucking sky, yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. Not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Okay. You couldn't even look me in. It's got another bar. Right. You couldn't even look me in the eye when you let me go and then left me to die. There was no question that I would survive. An artist on fire is one that's a liar. You can't surround a dragon with a bunch of lazy sheep. The one thing about royalty is that we love to feast, yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Is the audio back, by the way? Living like a riot, setting off the sirens, fists are clenching, fighting, soul has been ignited, ain't got time for dying, I'm too busy thriving, more than just surviving, heart is beating violent, living like a riot, setting off the sirens, fists are clenching, fighting, soul has been ignited, ain't got time for fighting, I'm too busy thriving, more than just surviving, heart is beating violent. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Alright. I didn't get an answer. Is the audio going through? I swear to God, I hope it is. Didn't die again. This is a song by Bones. Okay, cool. This is a pretty Carovian song, honestly. Let's do another full take, and that's pretty much all I need. And then I'll move on to my own shit. You show me love and it's spit in my face. Making your money off all of my pain. Let me start. One more time. Welcome, Haley. You show me love and then spit in my face. Making your money off all of my pain. You put an eagle inside of a cage. And you think I'm not strong enough to escape. But I refuse to let you make me feel like I can't fly. Not only will I soar again, I'll own the fucking sky. Yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. Not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. You couldn't even look me in the eye. Oh, there's one more bar. You couldn't even look me in the eye when you let me go and then left me to die. But there was no question that I would survive. An artist on fire is one that's alive. You can't surround a dragon with the buds of lazy sheep. The one thing about royalty is that we love to feast, yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner, so better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Living like a riot, setting off the sirens. Fists are clenched and fighting, soul has been ignited. Ain't got time for dying, I'm too busy thriving. More than just surviving, heart is beating violent. Living like a riot, setting off the sirens. Fists are clenched and fighting, soul has been ignited. Ain't got time for dying, I'm too busy thriving. More than just surviving, heart is beating violent. So I put my middle finger up. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner, so better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Alright, I got enough to double like the chorus both times. I feel like I clipped a couple times though. So I might turn the audio down a bit and then try a bit more. Welcome, John. Jan. I'm actually not sure how to pronounce it like that. I'm covering a song by Bones. Welcome, Flaming Quesadilla. This is my warm-up. Welcome, Adam Goes Pew. I'm gonna do one more take. One more take, just a little bit quieter, so I can make sure I don't clip. Okay, Jan, cool. You show me love and the spit in my face, making your money off all of my pain. You put an eagle inside of a cage, and you think I'm not strong enough to escape. But I refuse to let you make me feel like I can't fly. Not only will I soar again, I'll own the fucking sky. Yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. Oh, I'm not your prisoner. So better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. You couldn't even look me in the eye when you let me go and then left me to die. But there was no question that I would survive. An artist on fire is one that's alive. You can't surround a lion with a bunch of lazy sheep. The one thing about royalty is that we love to feast. Yeah. So I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner. Better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. It's 6:06, welcome to the stream. Fuck this jacket. Living like a riot, setting off the sirens, fists are clenched and fighting, hope is being ignited. Ain't got time for fighting, more than just surviving. I'm too busy thriving, heart is beating violent. Living like a riot, setting off the sirens, fists are clenched and fighting, soul is being ignited. Ain't got time for dying, I'm too busy thriving, more than just surviving, heart is beating violent. So I put my middle finger up. My generation's had enough, and you should be afraid. I'm not your prisoner, so better listen when I say I put my middle finger up. I'm done being your slave. Cool. Welcome to the stream. That was Middle Finger by Bones. Spoonie's friend Elliot sent that and said, "This seems like something Case should cover. This seems like a pretty Case song." And I listened back to it and I was like, you don't even know me. But yeah. It's very me. Okay, that shit was cathartic. I'll probably have that up next week. With the video or something. But welcome to the stream. It is Friday. I have a video going up tomorrow that is a stream highlight of last week. It's so hot in here. Holy shit. I'm forgetting. It's not freezing anymore. Never heard this song before, but damn, I love it. I'm glad. Someone was telling me that there's a fucking, like, character in a book that they're writing that was like, you remind me of this character. You remind me of this one character I've been writing. They're like an angel. They're like a fallen angel, but not like Lucifer. Like, they got fucked over. But, like, not on their own accord, from, like, someone else, like, petty bullshit, like, selling them out. And then their whole, like, story is, like, they really like their life on Earth, but they want to get back just to tell the other angels how much they're fucking up Earth. And I'm like, what? Huh? And they're like, you just remind me of that. You have that vibe. And I'm like, yeah, that's the, anyone who knows me and talks to me for more than 10 minutes says that's the story that's just etched into my aura, and they come up with their own way to express it. And that was like within a few days of getting sent this song, and I'm like, ha, I gotta do it. I'm the fallen angel, but not that one. Fuck it. God damn it. Let's get back into Surreptitious. Oh wait, is that the most recent one? Let me make sure. I'm working on a track called Surreptitious. Angelic-esque. That's Don't Talk to Me. Where's... I'll crank that, just so I can hear myself. Surreptitious, March 27th. What's the one on the drive? Is it newer than March 27th? 24, okay, so let me send this via AirPlay, or AirDrop, so I can have it, work on it. This is an inspiration for anyone's stories, goddamn. The deity of time in my fantasy world is heavily inspired by your music and general vibe. God, I'm glad that I'm just kind of a... that I have like a fictional aura. This has been like a thing my whole life. People either tell me I'm knockoff Jesus or that I'm knockoff Lucifer. I'm glad. I'm glad I can inspire. Let me adjust my whole shit here. Why not both? Yeah, I'm the middle ground. I'm the middle ground between... between Jesus and Lucifer, God. Alright, let's open Surreptitious. Close. Have you seen the TV show Lucifer? I have not. I've not seen that show. Anyone who was on my last stream knows that I'm pretty into angels and actual biblical angel symbolism before they got fucked up and just turned into like little winged babies. God or Satan? Both, probably. I'm the division between God and Satan. I'm the horizon. Angel and angel accessories, yeah. Catholicism. Pain, but make it sexy. Holy shit. Wow. You know the crazy thing about the Vatican is that most of the priests there are just like gays that have church kink. God. I don't really have any announcements. This title thing is still up, but I don't really have anything to say, and there's only like one more minute until it's like 6:15. Yeah, I'm gonna have a fan art showcase that's going up tomorrow. I didn't really get any new fan art this week, and I think part of the reason is because I haven't really said anything about the fan art showcase this whole week, so I haven't had any, haven't been putting that out. But that's happening on Tuesday. I will also have the next entry of the Etceteraverse up. It's gonna be a two-parter, so this will be the first thing where there's like two audio logs, and I'm introducing some new characters, so that'll be cool. And then next week I'm gonna introduce even more new characters, or not next week, but week after that. And then this is the next song that's coming out, and it should be tomorrow. I'm just finishing stuff up, but here's Surreptitious, and here's what I have so far for it.
When we learn the skill of assembling this fire in the heart,
that's Dan Winter.
It can make the centering force to steer its way and travel through the heart of the sun.
I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. No! Space-time tapestries healing, consider me spellbound. Cherub and seraphim all got something to say. Ophanim can listen in and spin some glyphs my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the fray, then send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when I set another thread alight, and tend to write lines I can't send. So like, if I could make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and say me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose I know that I'm of use to you, but I'm enclosed, subdued worldviews, the worst to burst through, consume too much to know the truth, we're doomed. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestries healing, consider me spellbound. Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe it, you should care. Other angles are tangled and mangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying that I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels and wailing, save us please, they relate to me. This is all a play to me, mundane's apathy's just such a pain to see. There's hierarchs and higher parts that need some talking to, putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. There's shit for when the lights and size of which you've never seen. Lose grip on the script before it ever hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasy's bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'll be sad to see a paradise become a casualty, that'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich bluff, acting tough, hacking up all that stuff they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is elites can survive it and you can't, god damn it. It's time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Let me remind you, fanatical, placable animals, you're cashable capital. And maximal practice too mechanical to grant you half a sabbatical. And radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics and practical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasy's bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
And then that's so far. So, before my voice totally, like, you know, before I lose my range, the first thing I want to do is, just throw some higher parts over the choruses that are there. I've been refraining from saying such a phrase because I'm afraid as soon as I say it, Case is gonna go and make me regret it by making something better. What? What is it? Say it. Challenge me. Do that while I record some stuff over this hook. I love that this fucking song ends on bar 169. Oh, you can't see it, it was that small, but this is 169 bars long. The numbers 1, 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9 have been following me, and 1 has been kind of subbing in every once in a while since the start of Lent. 6:21 right now. That's a good number? Yeah.
Ethics and practical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasy's bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Ethics and practical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasy's bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Ah! I gotta confess. This is my confession booth. This fucking studio here. I've been drinking. Actually not right before stream, but like fucking a couple hours before stream. I was having a heart-to-heart talk with one of my friends, and it was getting hard. And I was like, do you want a glass of wine? And they were like, sure. And I was like, okay. I ended up pouring 2 glasses of wine. And they didn't start on the second one, barely. And I didn't really keep track, and I had 3. But that was like like 3 p.m. But just saying, a little bit buzzed, a little bit inarticulate. Politics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fission, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasies bleeding, I can't tell now. Consider me spellbound. Politics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fission, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. No! Consider me spellbound. Politics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. I'm on a mission, I make fusion fission, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. And I can't tell now. Consider me spellbound. Politics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. I'm on a mission, I make fusion fission, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. And I can't tell now. Consider me spellbound. Politics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fission, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. And I can't tell now. Consider me spellbound.
Alright, let's try to do a little bit of the second half of the chorus, just so I can get a couple versions of that. And then I'm gonna run through all the verses again, because I want to do them, like, with a pitch to them, rather than just saying them. Also, you go ahead, Haley, you sort out food. Channel your inner Brennan Yuri, goddammit. Whoa! Whoa!
I can let you know. Consider I can let you know.
Okay, now I'm stuck going higher.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Not high enough.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
That's too. I can't mix that.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Okay, there was one there that was really good. Where is it?
I'm surreptitious, I can let you know.
That one.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
I gotta launch into that better.
No. No.
shit, how do you do that? I'm just doing head voice. I'm just trying to find the place where I can actually, like, mix head voice well.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
That's really fucking loud. I don't need to have both of these be talkback tracks. You can go way down.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Okay, I'll use like 2 of those. Okay. Now let's actually get.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Fantasies bleeding.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Okay, where is my voice?
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. That's all I need for that, really. One more.
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding. Reality!
I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know.
Reality or fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Alright, let's just do the verses now. I'm too out of breath to keep doing that.
Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Often him can listen in and spin some glyphs over my way. Deliberations with the fray. You way expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light, intend to write lines I can't sense alike. If I could make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, you'd mistake me for unstable. They haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose I know that I'm of use to you, but I'm up close, subdue worldviews, the worst to burst through, consume too much. Alright, I got it. Meter.
Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Often him can listen in and spit some glyphs my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the fray, then send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light, intent to write lines I can't sense alike. If I could make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with the clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose I know I'm of use to you, but I'm of close, subdued worldviews. The words to burst through, consumed to swerve the truth, but we're doomed.
I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Open and can listen in and spin some glyphs over my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the fray, then send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light, intent to write lines I can't sense alike. If I could make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose I know I'm of use to you, but I'm unclosed, subdued worldviews. The words to burst through, consumed to swerve the truth, but we're doomed.
I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Open him can listen in and spin some glyphs my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the fray, then send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light, intent to write lines I can't sense alike. If I can make up any fables of method to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away and strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose that I'm of use to you, but I'm enclosed, subdued worldviews. The words to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed.
I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions.
That's 3. Let's go with 4 takes. My 4-take rule. I'm gonna take a sip before I do the 4th take. Alright.
Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Open him can listen in and spin some glyphs my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the fray, then send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult to keep my head on right. I'm pensive and tense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light, intent to write lines I can't sense alike. If I could make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I suppose that I'm of use to you, but I'm enclosed, subdued worldviews. The words to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed.
I'm getting superstitious, I get
the Cado consumed. How did you prepare that avocado? Did you put it on toast? No, okay, good. Relationship intact. Fuck. Subdued worldviews, the words to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed.
I'm getting super
Close, subdued worldviews, the words to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed.
I'm getting super
Enclosed, subdued worldviews, the words to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed.
I'm getting super
Enclosed, subdued, refuse the worst to burst through. Consumed, too tired from the truth, we're doomed. I'm getting superstitious. Okay, that's all I got. I would still love you if you put an avocado on toast. I'm just making a joke. I love you regardless of how you prepare your avocados. Have you ever seen the Reductress article? This woman baked an this woman baked an egg in an avocado, and what happened next will blow your tits clean off. Because that's one of my favorite fucking, like, Onion-esque articles on the internet. And, like, the whole thing it goes through is like, my psoriasis is cleared up. My complexion is great. I am now happily married to Chris Pratt. Like, it goes through this whole fucking thing about, like, I baked an egg in an avocado, and Jesus Christ. That's a really good article title. Please come crash my stream.
Consider me spellbound.
You're like a pest, want me out of your hair. I've been linking together shit that found me from elsewhere. Believe me, you should care. Other angles are tangled and mangled in our plane's affairs. And save us, please, but they relate to me. This is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is such a pain to see. There's higher rocks and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. The shit ruin the light inside of what you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. Run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege. I'm considered. I've eaten an avocado just straight before, what the fuck? Okay, honestly, the best way to have an avocado is just you take some fucking large flake sea salt, some lime juice, you just cut a goddamn avocado, and here's an avocado tip. You know how people say, like, here's a trick to cut open an avocado, you just turn the thing around the core, and then you twist it, and then you spoon out the insides. Fuck you, don't make a spoon dirty. Here's what you can do. After you do the thing around one way, after you fucking, like, turn the avocado one way and, like, cut it all the way around, here's what you do. You take that cut this way, right? Then you do this, right? And then you hold the avocado, and then you cut it the other way. You make a crosshairs in the avocado so you have fucking this way, right? And then you turn it around that way, right? And then you twist it open, then twist it open the other way, and then the seed will be sticking to one of the quarters, and then you can just, you don't have to like jab your knife in it and twist it, you can just flick it out. And then, because of the shape of the avocado, you can just take your fucking fingers and just peel back the goddamn avocado. No need for a spoon. God damn it. Just cut your avocado into quarters. Jesus Christ. That'll be a stream clip next week. God damn you and your avocados. Also, when you use an onion, just score the outside of the onion and then peel it. Cause then you can fucking just use layers of an onion. You're not gonna use an entire fucking onion when you cook unless you're cooking for a bunch of people. So if you're cooking single servings, use one layer of a goddamn onion, and then when you peel back the onion, you have an entire fucking intact onion inside of it. And it's not gonna go bad. You don't have to put it in the fridge. You can put it back with the other fucking onions. Okay. That's me. I get really angry about food prep. I just learned about mushrooms. How you can take a mushroom, you can take a fucking stem out, and then you break it in half. And then you break that half into thirds. And you don't have to cut up the mushroom. Jesus Christ.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages to found me.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying I'm I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, wailing the angels and...
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a past for me. Out of your hair, linking together messages to find me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying it. Fuck.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a past for me. Out of your hair, linking together messages to...
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a past for me. Out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels and wailing sabers, please. They relate to me, this is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. There's higher rocks and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. The shit ruin the lags inside of what you never seen. Loose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege.
Consider me spellbound.
I hope your wards are well maintained. A soul like that could wreak serious havoc. Okay. It doesn't make me angry. It doesn't make me angry. I just think... I don't know. I guess it's because I spent... Okay. Back when I moved back from fucking California, like, I spent so much time watching food YouTube and, like, a bunch of, like, efficiency, like, lifestyle YouTubers because I wanted to be like, okay, I want to move out and I want to live on practically fucking nothing. And I want to be able to spend all my time, like, make all of my time as efficient as possible. And now I just, like, that's my default. And so, when I see you using a paring knife, like a dull paring knife to try to cut up a tomato, I just want to be like, why don't you just sharpen one of the big knives? Why don't you just use a big knife for what it's supposed... Like, I feel that. Not because I'm mad at you, but because it's like, I don't want you to cut your finger. Like...
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe it, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying that I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels and wailing sabers, please. They relate to me, this is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is such a pain to see. There's higher rocks and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. The shit ruin the likes and size of what you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I'll run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege.
Consider me.
Okay, I'm getting it. I lost 1/10 of my finger cutting a lime. That's why! Let me rinse this off, I got this. Yeah, I think I remember when you told me that. That's why. That's why I care about proper cooking etiquette. And also, I don't want your scrambled eggs to turn to rubber, and I don't want your, butter to become carcinogenic when you cook. So that's why I give you shit about your butter browning before you add eggs to the pan.
Consider me spellbound.
This verse is so relevant to what I'm fucking talking about, god damn it.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages to found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying that I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels and wailing sabers, please. They relate to me, this is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. There's hierarchs and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and 7 of you. The shit brewing the likes and size of what you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege.
Consider me spellbound.
Welcome. Welcome to my stream. Let me play off this chair. Haley's here.
Hello.
Say hi.
Are you talking shit?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been talking shit about your cooking.
Did you talk more shit?
No.
I'm just kidding. Twitch is talking shit though.
Yeah, I've probably cut over 1,000 lemons and limes in my time as a bartender, and only cut my finger once. It was miraculously, it was at an angle that didn't make it bleed. I don't know if that's talking shit. I think that's just relaying an experience, but you could consider that, like,
No,
motherfucker, I cut up so many lemons. What?
That's when you're picking up a plastic McDonald's knife off the floor. Let me rinse this off again. That is so in character for me.
God.
I feel like that's something I've done.
Also, when I was judging how you were cutting up vegetables, fucking Elliot was sitting there eating McDonald's and, like, dropped a barbecue sauce thing on the ground.
And then, like,
It landed flat, and, like, some of it came out.
And none
None of it hit the floor.
No. Yeah.
Which is better, lemons or limes? I mean, that's like... I would say limes. I like limes. I use limes.
I didn't bring water. I'm so...
It's fine, I got tea.
No. I want water.
I'm, like, overhydrated.
Whoa.
I had 3 glasses of wine. Yeah, sorry.
Is that why? Is that why?
What?
Is that why you're so excited?
I fucking said straight up, like, earlier on stream, like, so I've been drinking.
I didn't. I
Oh,
was
you-
here. I
Right.
wasn't there.
Oh, shit. My laptop. I don't need this. I'm getting that, like, overhydrated feeling, though. And I keep drinking because of my throat. I got, like, one more take on this.
I'm finish that Anunnaki.
Ooh, yeah. That'll be for the, Adrian log.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair. I'm linking together messages of... I hate it. Clipping.
Consider me spellbound.
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair. Linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our plane's affairs. I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying it, but they relate to me. This is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. There's hierarchs and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. The shit brewing the likes and size of what you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege.
Consider me spellbound.
I think, you know, the thing is that limes are good. I like cooking with limes, and I can totally sub Like, if there's a lemon in a recipe, I can usually sub it for lime and it'll taste okay. You can't do that the other way around. But sometimes lemon is really good for the flavor profile. Sometimes, like if you're just making fish with salt, pepper, and then lemon and butter, that's just like, that's fine. And that's hard to get, unless you're doing like tilapia or something, it's hard to get that same effect with lime. Like, lemon is really good for fish, I'd say. Lemon is also really good for, like, lemon water. Lemon water is good. Like, lemon ginger tea is good. You can't do that with lime. You could, but it's not gonna have the same effect. What's the difference between lime and lemon? Limes are smaller and tend to be more acidic and tend to have a slightly different, like, bitterness profile than lemons do. Lemons are less bitter, more sweet, and tend to be juicier. Lime and tea, never thought what that would be like. Yeah, see, like, I don't do that. I've tried that maybe once, but I've never seen, like, lime tea. Jamaica, maybe. If you want to do fucking agua de Jamaica and put lime juice in it, like, yeah, I can see that. That's the only kind of tea that I could see doing that with.
Lime and Thai tea.
You put lime in Thai tea? Or is that just like
that's
a...
thing you can do.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Very good. I knew there was fucking tea. I was just like, what is it?
You seem like someone who knows how to cook. I've been cooking since my parents split up. No offense to my dad. I love and respect my dad, and he built this whole thing, and I appreciate it so much. But I had to learn to cook when my parents split up, because a couple years of my dad's cooking, I just kind of got sort of sick of it. So I've been cooking since maybe I was 17 or 18. Maybe 19, I don't know. 17 or 18, I think. I remember being 18 and talking to... I remember people that I was talking to, like, on the internet and saying, like, I want to get into cooking. And I remember being, like, that subsection of people was, like, people I was talking to at, like, 17 or 18. So I think that's when I started cooking. Could have been later. But yeah, I first started learning, like, fried rice. I started cooking, like, vegan stuff because I was concerned about, like, you know, meats and contamination and stuff. And then I got into, there was a thing, like, you know, I learned how to make pasta and I started learning flavor profiles, and there was this one thing that I would do. It's just bullshit depression food. And I can't eat this anymore because I'm 25. My body doesn't process things the same way it did when I was 18. But I would call it pasta a la fucking nothing. It would just be spaghetti with no sauce, but like fucking Italian, like, herbs, garlic salt, and olive oil. And I would just eat that. Oh, and Parmesan cheese.
That's the only way I would eat spaghetti when I was younger.
Yeah. It's just no effort. Pasta alla fucking nothing. I found out that there's a fancy way to do that. It's called cacio e pepe. Right? And literally the only difference is you set out a saucepan and you toast some peppercorns in it, and pour a little bit of pasta water in it, to, like, and then reduce the starch. And then you pour in the pasta, not pour it in, but you put in the pasta, and then you put in some cheese, and then let the cheese mix with the starch from the pasta water as it reduces, and then you get a cheese sauce made of nothing but the starch from the pasta and the cheese and black pepper. And then you add garlic salt to it. And that's the fancy way to do that. I didn't know there was a fancy way to do that, but, you know, now I do. And I make that sometimes. Every so once in a while, if there's spaghetti in my house and I get the urge. But since then, I've been learning, I basically make curries. I make vegetarian stir fries that are just whatever spice profile I want to add to it. And cooking is fucking easy if you realize that there's a couple different types of food. There's a couple different types of food items, like rolls that, like macronutrients that get served. And then there's a few different kinds of flavors, right? Spaghetti urges, I know them well. I'm fucking Italian. I get like salt and sour urges. I get that Neanderthalic, like, I want kraut urge, you know? I actually didn't know that. Okay, so here's something I didn't know. Apparently, salt cravings are a trans femme thing. Before I was even on any kind of medication, I craved salt and sour constantly. Burned out my goddamn taste buds on, like, salt and vinegar chips and Takis. But, and pickles. I would just get, at lunch, sometimes in middle school or high school, I'd just get one of those Big Mama pickles and just eat it straight. And that would be my lunch. And people would be like, how the fuck do you do that? And I'm just like, I don't know, I need salt. Salt, having a higher salt content in your body, is good for nerve and brain function, muscular activity, and also, metabolism, metabolizing sugars, reducing sugar cravings, and reducing aldosterone and testosterone concentrations in the blood. Which, you know, I spent the first fucking 20 years of my life just eating fucking salty junk food because I liked it. Fuck soy. Pickles are good though. Yeah! My mom used to can green beans and used to make dilly beans. And like when I moved out, I went into the basement and I found like probably a 10-year-old jar of dilly beans filled to the brim. And I was like, oh my god. And like it's preserved, right? And I took it to my apartment and it was gone in a week. No, it was gone in like 4 days. Making homemade pasta sauce tomorrow. It's gonna be a several-hour affair. Oh boy. Yeah, I like to do stuff like that in winter. I've been super into salty food so much. I love salty junk food and so much. My diet consisted of salty shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, same. Salt and vinegar chips, dill pickle chips, were like my shit as a kid. That or, if I wasn't eating spicy shit, I was eating salty and sour shit. Ryan North, the Squirrel Girl author, believes in eating pickles on ice cream. I didn't know Ryan North worked on Squirrel Girl. Also, you can't say Ryan North is a famous Homestucky, and Ryan North has been around before Homestuck. Ryan North is like fucking... Ryan North is like the other Andrew Hussey. You can't say he's just a Homestuckian. He's on par with Homestuck. Ryan North is a legend. He wrote a run of it a few years ago. Oh man, that's cool. Good for Ryan North. Holy shit. I remember that one year, it wasn't a year, it lasted like 2 months, when Ryan North and Andrew Hussey swapped credit cards, and they would just look at each other's bank statements and speculate on what the fuck they could have been doing that day. I don't ever want to have that kind of friendship with anyone. That's insane. I was about to say I loved that. Speaking of Homestuck, I'm in love with the Planet fucking Jupiter line. I love that. I haven't been planning that line, but like months ago when I started doing Crozide, I was like, oh, I'm writing a character called Jupiter, and I'm talking about the end of the world. Shit. The only good thing I ever posted on Tumblr, that Andrew Hussey's trip to Olive Garden. Who's your biggest musical influence? Oh, God. Oh, That's a question. Oh man, I could list you 3 names. I couldn't give a single biggest musical influence, but Peter Gabriel, Patrick Stump, and Jin Sonoe. Those would be the 3. If you want to split apart melodies in my shit, and split apart pads and, like, you know, kind of, like, the sounds and, like, flow of my songs, if I'm playing guitar, Jin Sonoe. If I'm doing, like, really big, like, atmospheric pop stuff that sounds really haunting and ghosty, Peter Gabriel. If I'm doing, like, pop punk, just, like, jamming, and, like, crazy vocals and shit, Patrick Stump. Patrick Stump and Brendan Urie are probably, like, my biggest, like, vocal influences. Homestuck stays, like, okay, I don't believe in, like, being in or out of fandoms, right? I think you can like a thing, and you can continue to like a thing no matter how much you participate in the community. I think, because, like, you know, it's the same thing. Sometimes you can see a really good movie, and then you go, like, through the rest of your life, you can, like, have some lessons that you learn from that movie, and you, like, sort of relate, oh, like, that's that thing. Like, you know. Homestuck's a really big one of those, because it's got a lot of really big, like, central tenets to it, you know? And, you know, like, Hussey did a pretty good job with making Homestuck, all-encompassing. Why hasn't Brendan Urie and Patrick Stump collabed yet? Oh my god, have you heard, $20 Nosebleed? Have you ever wanted to disappear and join a monastery, go out and preach on manic straight? Who would I be when I wake up next to a stranger on a passenger plane, permanent jet lag? Please take me back, please take me back. That song is really fucking good. Call me Mr. Benzedrine, but don't let the doctor in. I wanna blow off steam, yeah. But yeah, there should definitely be more collaboration. Because those two bands have been, I mean, Panic is just Brendan Urie now, but those two bands have been playing tag team with each other forever. And it almost seems like over the past few years, like, Fall Out Boy will put out an album, and then Brendan Urie will be like, I'm gonna do that harder, watch me. Like, fucking, I remember way back in, like, 2013, when Fall Out Boy came back with My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, and then, like, 2 months later, Brendan Urie comes out with Miss Jackson, which is the same song, but goes so much harder. Fully Ado is my favorite Fall Out Boy album. There have been times when, you know, I'm fucking, you know, awake in an airport at odd hours of the night questioning where my life is going. And I would put on Fully Ado, listen to it all the way through. I was about to say that literally exactly, you read my mind. Yeah. I'm gonna do... Should I do one more take of this? Like, how many takes did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4... Let's do one more for good measure. Dust Case is psychic? The rumor come out... You have no idea. You have no idea.
Consider me spellbound,
Think of me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our planes affairs. I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels, wailing save us please, but they relate to me. This is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. There's higher rocks and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. There's shit brewing the lights inside of which you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving Earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege. There's way more on Death of a Bachelor that I like. I like so much of that album. Alright, it's a hell of a feeling though. It's a hell of a feeling though. Alright, it's a hell of a feeling though. Who are these people? Just woke up in my underwear. No liquor left on the shelf. I should probably introduce myself. I fucking love that song. Death of a Bachelor itself is really good too. I posted an archive of the... Yeah, go to... Hussey's Olive Garden Adventures. So great. Vintage Hussey, when Hussey was just like a person, like just kind of putting shit out as like, hey guys, I'm Andrew Hussey. Look at the shit I'm doing. Didn't you say something about not wanting to go till 6? Sometimes, well, on Sundays, it's like, my Sunday streams tend to be grab bag, like, I go as long as I want to, and if I still have stuff to do, I'll keep going. If I'm too tired, I stop early. I would be down to get some fucking real-ass big drums on that. Champagne, cocaine, gasoline, and most things in between. I rode the city light in a shopping cart, a pack of Camels and a smoke alarm. This night is heating up. Raise hell and turn it up. Said if you go loud, you might pass out in a train pipe. Oh yeah, don't threaten me with a good time. I fucking love that song. Fucking, Pray for the Wicked is such a good goddamn album, too. High Hopes is really, like, High Hopes is a good song. Say Amen is such a good song. I tried to cover that. I couldn't even do it justice. I couldn't do the instrumental justice. How did you start making music? Okay, so, if you can't tell, I'm 25. I'm just some fucking, like, studio rat kid. I didn't build this. My dad had been a music producer, session musician, live musician since the 70s. Since, I should turn my mic up. My dad had been like a session musician and shit since like the 70s. And he's been doing music and audio and video production. He started doing video marketing and ads and stuff like that. And he kind of built the studio. And when I was young, I got into this. I, you know, just sort of hanging around all of this musical equipment and shit, having an 88-key keyboard and GarageBand to fuck around with. And my dad got me the GarageBand Orchestra Symphony Pack, and I found a book on orchestration, and I read up all the different shit about the different kinds of tones, the different instruments, the different way that they play, the different way that they sound, the different way to voice chords with it. I was like 12. And back then I was, you know, before that I was just in like the Halo modding community. And so, you know, people would be making Halo mods, and I'd be like, hey, do you need music for your Halo mods? And I'd just do some like quick like string and woodwind shit, and I would be like, hey, check this out. Just be a few simple chords, and people were like, oh, this is pretty good. Nothing ever got made or finished, but that's how I started doing orchestration and shit. When when, you know, I started composing stuff more on my own, and I started learning more about, like, song structure. When I was 15, 16, I started having more of, like, an emotional reason to write music and write, like, lyrics to stuff. And so I wrote stuff like, let's see, what were some of the first songs I wrote? 724, Friends, which is on my last album, here. And there was like another really old song that I haven't fucking done anything with. Something to Cry About. Like, I started writing those kinds of things, like, when I was 15, 16. Had a Metallica cover band, and learned to play more instruments and shit. And I learned, you know, drums on different songs from Rock Band and Guitar Hero. And so when, like, a drummer would come in, I'd be like, I want to play Master of Puppets. Like, they would be like, I don't know Master of Puppets. And I'd just be like, let me sit in behind the drum kit. I'll show you how to play Master of Puppets. And I learned how to play drums that way. My dad plays bass, so there's always a bass around. So, you know, if you learn guitar, you end up playing bass at some point. By the time I was 16 or 17, I was writing songs regularly, and when I was 17, I recorded my first album and then put it out, like, right after I turned 18. Well, finished it and then put it out, like, when I was 18. And then since then, you know, I've just been honing and working on music production. But that's pretty much the story of how I got into music. So I'm 25, so I've been playing music. I've been writing music for about 13 years, basically. And writing, like, songs, like songs with lyrics and structure and shit for about 10.
Had to have high hopes for a living.
Oh man, what is that other song that's on there that I really like? Roaring Twenties.
Broadway is back like a sinkhole. Everyone races to the suburbs. Now I'm on the rooftop with curious strangers. This is the oddest of summers. Maybe I'll medicate, maybe inebriate. Street situations I get anxious. Maybe I'll smile a bit, maybe the opposite. But pray that they don't call me thankless.
Love that shit. I remember I got into that song, and then in the next week, there were a bunch of people that came to visit. And we went up on the roof of the theater, which is an off-Broadway theater, like, built in the Midwest by someone who fucking, like, was exiled from stage production. Hey Look Ma Made is pretty good too. Dying in LA, I wouldn't be able to do that without crying. Holy shit. That's too personal for me. But, yeah, a bunch of people came to visit, and we went up on the roof, and, like, I turned to my friend Jared, and I'm like, Broadway is back like a sinkhole, and he just, like, fucking, like, assumes the rest of the lyrics. I'm on the rooftop with curious strangers, this is the oddest of summers. Oh, shit. I live in an off-Broadway theater built in the Midwest by the founder of Universal Studios, by the way. Just for clarification. Yeah, I have a fucking OC that's based on that song, JC Detroit.
To the space-time tapestry ceiling, consider me spellbound.
I actually got this verse good, but I'm just gonna...
To the space-time tapestry ceiling, consider me spellbound.
LA Devotee is also really... Okay, like, Brennan Urie thinks the same fucking thing I do about Los Angeles. I resonate with Brennan Urie so much. It's kind of like the same... Like, I got into Fall Out Boy at a time when I was making content for people that didn't understand my angle of it. And when you listen to Fall Out Boy, every album after their first album is like, you fucking kids don't understand what I'm talking about, and I hate it. And, like, I would listen to that, and I would listen to, you know, Pete Wentz and fucking Patrick Stump, and just be like, yeah, totally, fuck.
To the space-time tapestry ceiling, consider me spellbound.
Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich bluff, acting tough, hacking up, all that stuff they touch. The only reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is the elites can survive it and you can't. God damn it, high time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Fanatical, placable animals, you're a cashable capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant you half a sabbatical. And radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics, and practical, but hazards are actual. Fuck!
I'm getting superstitious, I get
Just another LA devotee. Man. Los Angeles. I was actually wanting to try out for CJ, but I was worried that it would be a bit too feminine. I mean, if you want to throw your hat in the ring, like, go for it. Like, the most important thing for CJ is gonna be acting, honestly. CJ's a really important character. There's a few people that I messaged privately. There's some people that sent in auditions for the last round of stuff that I thought, oh, that'd be a good CJ. And then there's other people who are in projects adjacent to mine that I asked. And I might be a little bit biased because I went and sought them out, but if anyone blows me away with the CJ audition, I will more than consider them. Also, you know, this is round 3 of 6, 7? I don't know. I'm gonna be doing this series for like 2 years. The video for LA Devotee, Brendan Urie is hammering in all the crazy Illuminati energy. I love the new, like, Brendan Urie, like, the new Panic logo. Because it's very, very, like, he's a Mormon, right? Imagine Dragons are Mormons. They have a weird Mormon angle on the meta. And he kind of expresses his view on, like, the Illuminati with a lot of this stuff. And, like, I know that Brendan Urie's onto some shit. My friend Jared saw him live and was like, Brendan Urie's onto some shit. He got lost in talking about the universe between songs, and then had to stop himself when someone started drumming so he could continue. And, like, I was like, Brendan Urie's onto some shit. He's onto some shit. Ex-Mormon? Well, yeah. Again, it's like fandoms, you know? You fucking grow up with something, you got it stuck in your head, you're gonna see relations to the stuff that you grew up with. And I think that's one of the things that he talks about a lot in the album, is just, like, religious symbolism combined with, you know, his life experiences and how he sees things. I have a weird fucking pseudo-religious view on the world, so I can relate to people's own, like, when they leave a faith and have, like, conceptualizations that are sort of their own making, but are still inspired by, like, the ether that they came from. Like, I think Brendan Urie's onto some shit, basically.
to the space-time tapestry ceiling, consider me spellbound.
Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich bluff, acting tough, hacking up all that stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is elites can survive it and you can't, goddammit. High time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Let me remind you, fanatical, placable animals, you are cashable capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant you a sub. And radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics, and practical, but hazards are actual. Fuck!
I'm getting superstitious, I get
Gotta quit clearing my throat all ugly like that on stream. I really want a panic triangle tattoo. Yeah, I love that logo. I see so much in that logo. I see that logo and it just screams to me. Like a seraphim around the throne of God. Fuck. Yes. Yes. Could you put some low effort, like up the wall of flowers sort of thing?
I'm gonna look up a picture.
Okay. If it's not too much to ask, it'd just be kind of like some tangles. But thank you so much. If it's too much, then you don't have to do it.
Like, is there like a specific?
It's from the same like bucket and cone picture.
Oh, hang on, I'm gonna look up. Because the picture I got didn't have that, so.
What does it scream though? It's not screaming anything in particular except an exclamation point. It's got an eye in it. What are the things in the other two? Oh, it's a sun and a moon. A sun, a moon, and an eye. Oh, holy shit. Yeah. Brennan Yuri knows what's up. We all got the same sun that screams too loud. We all got another eye that can see through sound. I'm gonna do one more take of this version.
to the space-time tapestry ceiling. Consider me spellbound.
Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich, bluff, acting tough, hacking up all that stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is elites can survive it and you can't, goddammit. High time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Let me remind you, fanatical, placable animals, you're castable capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant a sabbatical. Radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics, and practical, but hazards are actual. Fuck!
I'm getting superstitious, I get
I can't wait. I can't wait to get into the second half of this, or the full half of this. Like, there's a thing you could, if you're keen enough on knowing where to look, there's an old Tumblr page. I think it might be locked and taken down. I'm not sure. Tumblr, like, wiped all my shit when they did the NSFW ban. But, there's a really old Tumblr page where it has the original, PAD logs. And, like, back in 2011 when I was writing that shit. And I wanted to do an ARG, but I didn't have the, you know, resources, and I didn't really know what to do. But, you know, that's something I've been planning since 2011. I'm really fucking excited to get into that part of the story. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that sort of thing. Linked up the music video for Say Amen, This is Gospel, Emperor's New Clothes. Yeah! Steal the devil's key, and then he becomes the devil. I love it. That's some meta imagery. It's 7:28. I should probably just get into mixing. There's nothing really more I gotta do. I think we're in a general, like, period of awakening. I think a lot of artists like that are getting into, just... I think a lot of artists are, like, waking up and just kind of throwing out symbolism like that. I'm definitely trying to get some shit across in the stuff that I'm doing. Alright, let's listen to these new takes.
And I can't tell now till the space-time tapestry's healing. Consider me spellbound. Cherubim, seraphim, all got something to say. Ophanim can listen in and spin some glyphs my way. Turn your gaze to my deliberations with the freight and send me away, expect me to be thinking straight. It's getting difficult, I keep my head on right. I'm pensive, intense, been up in bed all night. I can't fight when you set another thread of light. Intent to write lines I can't sense alike. If I can make up any fables with metaphysical labels to be able to explain, they'd mistake me for unstable. They'd haul me away, strap me down to a table, interrogate me and shame me when answers ain't available. What do I do with clues I can't be moved to prove? I'd suppose that I'm of use to you, but I'm enclosed, subdued, abused, the worst to burst through, consumed, too tired from the truth, we're doomed. I'm getting superstitious, I get premise. The worst to burst through, consumed, to swerve from the truth, we're doomed. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now till the space-time tapestry's healing. Consider me spellbound. Think on me like a pest, want me out of your hair, linking together messages that found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our planes affairs. I ain't saying I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels, wailing, save us please, but they relate to me. This is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. This sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. There's shit ruin the lights and size of which you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now till the space-time tapestry's healing. Consider me spellbound. Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich, bluff, acting tough, hacking up all that stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is a you can, goddammit. High time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Let me remind you, fanatical, placable animals, irrecastible capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant a sabbatical. Radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics impractical, but hazards are actual. Mind you, fanatical, placable animals, irrecastible capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant a sabbatical. Radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Heterosexual, I'm getting superstitious. I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and but I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't.
I can only do one of these.
Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Consider me spellbound. Heterosexual, I'm getting superstitious. I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Okay. Let me move this harmony into more of the takes.
Consider me spellbound. Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy.
Okay. I'm really into like, you know, angel and demon stuff. I think, you know, everyone has like a phase when they're like young and just getting into stories of like writing like stuff with angels and demons. And then like later on they grow up and they realize like more intricacies of characters and shit and storylines, and they write more like different takes on stuff. And then at some point you realize the like grander significance of angels and demons, and you're like, fuck. Oh, I gotta write some shit about that. And then you write some shit about angels and demons, and then a bunch of 12-year-olds will look at it and think like, yeah, angels and demons, and then they'll write some shit that has no idea about the kind of shit you're going on about. And I think it's an endless cycle. I haven't touched them in a year, but I still love my angel and demon OCs from middle school. I set aside some angel and demon OCs from middle school, and now I'm writing a story with them. And they haven't been introduced yet, but very soon. My symbols keep coming up. God damn it, I know too much. Seeing through the cover-ups. Hiding in the brush, watching the rich bluff. Yeah, have you ever heard... Okay, so... I'm sure you've heard of a man named Alex Jones, who 20 years ago, the name was synonymous with, you know, the generic conspiracy theories. And now he's synonymous with, this dude's batshit and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and you shouldn't understand. You shouldn't listen to him. But there was a moment in the Alex Jones story arc. I like to talk about people as if they're characters, because I think if you treat real life like plot, you can sort of see a lot of the same idiosyncrasies. But there was a moment in the Alex Jones storyline where he found this place called Bohemian Grove. And Bohemian Grove is an isolated woods, like clearing in the woods, with an enormous owl statue and a stage made of like stone tiles and shit. And every year there are a bunch of old, rich, a-religious, mostly conservative billionaires who are involved in politics, and they go there, and they dress up in red and black robes, and they do a Celtic, pagan ritual called the cremation of care, which is, fuck. It's the cremation of care, which represents like, burning of normal human, earthly cares, I guess, worries. And so they do this so they can get really hyped about not giving a fuck about the planet, right? And this is real. This is a real fucking thing. Every Republican president since Calvin Coolidge, I believe, has been said to go to these things. And there's, like, on the goddamn Joe Rogan podcast or something, there was another guy who was not Alex Jones, who went there the same time Alex Jones did, and was like, yeah, I was there. This is a real fucking thing they do. There's a scene in House of Cards where they spoof it. I wouldn't recommend watching it, but just to let you know how much this is in the political mythos, there's a scene in House of Cards about it. But back in, I think, 1999, right? Alex Jones gets invited to Bohemian Grove. Gets invited there. Invited. Welcome to wear the robes and do the ceremony and whatever. He goes and hides in the bushes with his camera, and he does this, like, guerrilla-style thing, and he watches from a distance as they do this fucking ritual. And they're burning like a straw man, and they're doing they're chanting fucking, set us free, set us free, set us free. Bunch of old, rich, fucking white men who rule the planet, right? Standing around a fucking burning effigy something, set us free, set us free. You go look up the video for this, it's fucking real. And since that moment, since Alex Jones found that there was actually an Illuminati ritual that happened in the middle of the woods in front of an owl statue, where they do weird, like, chants and shit, and burn shit, and get really hype about it, he has never been the same, and he can't take anything at face value. And so when anything happens, he is damn certain that it's the workings of some weird elite fucking Satanist cabal kind of thing. Nothing can just be as it is, ever since he found the cremation of care ceremony in Bohemian Grove. It's a real thing. It's fucked up that it's a real thing, but it's totally a real thing, and you can find footage of it. You can find a Wikipedia page about it. Bohemian Grove. But I think about that a lot. I think about what it must do to you as a person who's been obsessed with conspiracy theories for like a decade or two before that, to get there and see that and have that experience. Like, I would go nuts. I would lose it. I would be gone. I would not be able to see the world the same way ever again. If I was there in person, like, just the fact that I know that exists, I can believe that that exists. I totally yeah, I get it. I get it. I get why people who are, like, otherwise a-religious would go and, like, you know, have a whole fucking ritual and a festival and shit, because it's cathartic, you know? If you don't agree with everything that a church is saying, if you want to have a more closed-in, tight group that you can relate to and you want to, like, do a thing that gets you pumped, like, okay, yeah, sure. They're all rich. They're all rich fucking conservative Republicans, and they're doing that, and that's kind of fucking weird and creepy. But I get why they're doing that, you know? I go into an abandoned off-Broadway theater with the fucking plaster falling off when it's warm enough with, like, you know, 5 to 7 of my friends, and we go and chant fucking vowel sounds in the dark while staring at incense, and then talking about the visions we see. And sometimes that's just a thing. Sometimes that's just, you gotta have some controlled crazy in your life. So I get why they do that. But if you're a conspiracy theorist and you have that experience and see that and catch it, you would lose your fucking mind. And I just think about that. I think about being a conspiracy theorist with a DV cam hiding in the brush. The wiki states it's a theatrical production. Sure. Sure. Agnostic of the most. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with going to church if you need something every week to hype you up for the rest of the week. I don't care. I also have a fascination with religious imagery. I wouldn't use it so much. I wouldn't talk about this shit so much. Sometimes yeah. Some people do tarot card readings. If they feel some vibes going, pull out a tarot card and just want to reflect on that, sure, you can do that. Want to make yourself some moon water? Go for it. If you want to fucking read a Bible verse out loud in Latin in your bathroom every morning? Go for it. I do all those things. I don't go to Bohemian Grove, though. How does one make moon water? You take some water, some purified water, and you put it in like a glass vessel, and then you set it out under either a new or full moon. Thoughts on Dante's Inferno? I think it's a really cool mythos based. I think it's a really cool Bible fan fiction. I really like the construction of hell. Have you heard about Kanye West's? Oh, you were so like intense. Kanye West's. What about Kanye West? I'm so curious. Super secret Sunday gatherings he's been doing. I would believe. I don't think that's out of the ordinary. I don't think, like, good for him, you know? Fuck. Like, he's got some I mean, I hope there's people who are as level-headed, like, more level-headed than him. Yeah, Dante puts the family of all the people he personally hates in hell. That's great. Dante's Inferno is a self-insert fanfiction. I really like the stuff that came out of Dante's Inferno, the specific symbolism and organization of sins and stuff. I like that. That's cool. I like people who can compartmentalize abstract concepts in a fictional sense. What the fuck is Kanye West doing? Like, what does he talk about? What does he think about? That's great.
Yeah.
That's so. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you so much.
Yeah.
Basically, him playing Christian songs and new versions of his old songs that were closely related to religious symbolism with a huge choir and a bunch of musicians. So there's a church that rents out the front room here on Sundays, and I'll come down on Sundays before streams and work on stuff and write in the Starbook and shit. I've wanted to do stuff where, like, I just kind of write. I've written some mantras and shit that we've chanted before. But I mean, that's cool. Kanye West is starting his own fucking church. Let Yeezy do Yeezy. All the non-Christians he likes in purgatory where it's nice and safe. His favorite dead poet is his BFF. Yeah. I want to go to Kanye West's Church of Jesus. I want to go there. Take me
to church.
Take me to church. Take me to church. Kim posts videos on Instagram. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna have to look that up after the stream. That's crazy. I didn't even make sense. It's like 10 minutes until the stream ends.
Close, subdued, refuse the worst to burst through, consumed to swerve from the truth, we're doomed. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Think on me like a pest me out of your hair, linking together messages.
Oh, the location changes too. Oh, so he's like super secret about it. He like hits up different venues and does it. Oh man. That's crazy. You see, I think we're at a point where like we're in the personal crazy beliefs here. We're kind of in the process of the second coming of Christ, right? And it's not like fucking Jesus doesn't come back in person, pulls his fucking sword out of his mouth and slices his head off a dragon. No. There's a bunch of people who independently reach the same kind of conclusions that Jesus did, and then they kind of just go nuts until they have a way to express it. And so I feel like you're going to see a lot of this meta kind of people popping up with their own kind of ritual, personalized kind of ways to look at things. And Kanye West is fucking insane. Kanye West has always been onto some shit. And not really productive about it. But I think that there's just this drive with a lot of people who feel this kind of spirituality to think that the current institutions of spirituality aren't awoken enough. Kanye hosted Jesus church service in the Kenosha Theater. Yeah, Kanye. Hit up the little giants of Kenosha. Fuck. I have a friend named Akrians who recently made his own religion. A lot of people can do that. I'm a ordained minister. I could start a 501c3 in a church tomorrow if I wanted to. I have a friend who made up his own calendar. Lives by his own calendar. He figured that, well, 365 isn't divisible by 7, but it is divisible by 5, so he has 5-day weeks. And he counts them like a pentagram, with the fucking 5 classical elements. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And he just has days. And he you know, personally lives by it. He adjusts his diet on that 5-day cycle, where like Earth, he eats like mostly vegetables. Water, he'll I don't know what he does for that. Fire, on fire days he eats mostly things that can't be eaten raw, I think is the thing. And ether day's a free day. I would make ether day a fast day, honestly. Yeah, and he figures he also starts the year in March, so that when you get to like September, October, November, the numbers of those months are Sept 7, Oct 8, you know, December 10, and then January is 11, and then February is 12. So that's cool. I keep telling him though, the most dissonant interval in music is the 5 to 7 frequency ratio. And I feel like you're gonna run into some problems because those are only gonna sync up every 35 weeks, which is, if there's only 73 weeks of that in your year, that's like half of your fucking year. You're gonna be out of sync with weeks for half of your fucking year. That's kind of rough. But, you know. Welcome back. But he's like 2 or 3 weeks into that, and he says it's going okay.
It's just they found me from elsewhere. I ain't a beacon of reason, but believe me, you should care. Other angles are mangled and tangled in our planes affairs. I signs saying that I'm in communication with the Pleiades, praying to angels and wailing, save us please. They relate to me, this is all a play to me. Mundane's apathy is just such a pain to see. There's hierarchs and higher parts that need some talking to. Putting sedative additives in affordable food. Cut your shit before your grand plan snaps in two. There's 7 billion of us and like 7 of you. There's shit brewing the lights inside of which you never seen. Lose grip on the script before it hits the screen. I run the show, I'm moving earth and all done with these. Call me planet fucking Jupiter, cause y'all are under siege. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound. Last chance to reel back the calamity. Listen up, I'm an Anunnaki ambassador to humanity. Bad habits and practices, I'd be sad to see a paradise become a casualty. That'd be a tragedy. I'm getting signals from above, my symbols keep coming up, seeing through the cover-ups. God damn it, I know too much. Been hiding in the brush, spying on the rich bluff, acting tough, hacking up all that stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is elites can survive it and you can't. God damn it, hide stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is all that stuff that they touch. The reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is the reason the leaders are trying to fry up the planet is elites can survive it and you can't. God damn it, high time to learn to thrive like Paleolithic times in the wild where they can't find you. Let me remind you, fanatical, placable animals, you're a cashable capital. Maximal practice too mechanical to grant a sabbatical. Radical hacks are all in a battle to rattle the catacombs. They're fallible, ethics impractical, but hazards are actual. I'm getting superstitious, I get premonitions filled with vicious visions of apparitions that I cannot control. Now I'm on a mission, I make fusion fishing, you can't miss it. I'm surreptitious with what I can let you know. Reality of fantasies bleeding, and I can't tell now. Till the space-time tapestry's healing, consider me spellbound.
Right. I got some mixing to do on that, but that'll be a thing. I can stick around for a little bit longer to chat. There's like 4 more minutes. I don't have much else to talk about. Shit. Even people who like don't read into the canon of this shit, I hope they get the message that I'm trying to send with the third verse about like global warming. Because here's a conclusion that me and my friend came to doing a lot of careful looking over the political scenario over the past couple of years, and that is like, you know, the 20 people that own everything and that are gonna automate all of the whatever are gonna you know, they're gonna build bubbles and domes around their huge compounds and they're just gonna rule the planet, you know, and everyone else is just gonna kind of be left out. And, like, I used to tell, you know, like, my friend, I have a friend who's got a family and kids, and he was like, I want to get them out of the fucking country if shit goes down. If shit goes down with Trump, when Trump's president. And he said that, you know, he was going to look into getting a passport and looking at, like, different European countries to move to. And, my whole angle of it was like, you think you're gonna be able to fucking fly if shit goes down? And he was like, that's a good point. And he was like, well, I don't know what I would do. And I was like, go I don't know, up north in Wisconsin, in the middle of the fucking woods, and build a cabin for yourself. And he already has family up north in Wisconsin who have a cabin in the middle of the woods and shit. And he's like, you know, that's more viable, actually. But then, something happened that sort of changed my angle on if that's a good idea or not. And that is the fact of the polar vortex. And up here, the polar vortex is getting a bit more prominent as climate changes. And so, if you are up here and if you don't have warm shelter, and the temperature drops to -20 and the wind drops to -40, if you're outside and the polar vortex sweeps over you, as it will every year, if you're homeless, you're fucking dead. You're just dead. And so, maybe it's not really a good idea to go as north as you can in the middle of the woods and build a cabin. 'Cause I don't want anyone to fucking freeze to death if you can't heat that cabin well enough. And I think about that sometimes. About, like, the actual fucking, like, situation we're in. And people talk about, you know, like, the body count of the polar vortex. You can't tell for sure. Do you know how many homeless people in Chicago just out on the fucking street, like, didn't have a place to go, got stuck in -40 weather for a week? Christ. And politicians don't give a shit about that. The people at the top don't give a shit about that. Bunch of fucking screaming kids went up to Dianne Feinstein with a big, you know, crayon and colored pencil like, banner. And was like, if you don't support the Green New Deal, we're gonna be the ones growing up in the fucking, you know, disastrous ruins that you leave behind. And she's like, oh, well, you kids think you know better than me. I've been doing this for 30 years. And I'm like, if that's who's running this shit, we're fucked. If you live up north, if you live near the Great Lakes, which is, you know, a source of fresh water that isn't really going to rise with the sea levels, best have a shelter. Best have a place to fucking keep yourself out of the cold every time the fucking vortex goes through. Because that's gonna get worse. The weather's gonna get worse. And every year, if capitalism serves you wrong and you're out on the street at the wrong time of year, you're just fucking dead. And nobody cares. Nobody at the top cares. Rahm Emanuel has been fucking, you know, defunding public schools. And, you know, the mayor of Chicago. Defunding public schools and turning attention away from, like, the most impoverished areas of Chicago. And, you know, doing stuff to promote the economic growth of tech industries in Chicago that aren't actually helping any low-income neighborhoods. And the one thing that he had to say recently about anything crime-related, about anything going on in his city, is about Jussie Smollett. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, dude. So that's all I gotta say. And let me just say, how many people are there in Congress? How many? Wait. Well, I'm not gonna even go that far. Price of petroleum. No, wait. Price of asphalt? Man, where's just a straight up bucket of asphalt? Okay, fuck it. Tar and feathers. Fuck the elite. I'm gonna sign out. I will see you guys Sunday.